What's up, y'all? This is your amazing, fantabulous, beautiful host, Bree, on the set of Dear Future Husband. Okay? We are here again. Yes, again. Because we're still in season 2. Y'all know y'all been rocking with us this entire time, and I appreciate the support. Make sure that y'all subscribe, okay? Make sure you subscribe to Reality TV 1 on YouTube and support the show, support everything that we're doing, okay? We are making love great again. You hear that, Chris? I'm making love great again.
Making love great again.
Okay, come on.
Mala.
Okay. What is it?
Mala. Instead of MAGA. Never
okay.
mind. I tried it. Whatever.
Okay, so obviously he needs no introduction. This is my guest, Chris. And today, Chris, it is Dear Future Husband. I have so many ideas to entertain you with. Where are you?
Ooh, man, I am everywhere.
Oh.
I am, I am everywhere.
Okay, well then let's talk about it. We're finna get into it.
Let's get it.
Y'all ready?
Y'all ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you okay?
All
right. So we want to talk. I want to talk about entrepreneurship and dating while being an entrepreneur. I feel like I'm breaking my leg. Let me.
Yeah, come on, get comfy. Get comfy.
Shift.
That's
Let me shift. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, well, I was gonna say I think the big thing about entrepreneurship is you're constantly uncomfortable. Right?
On a regular basis.
On a regular basis. That people who chase entrepreneurship are typically broken. Right?
Wait a minute, sir.
We are broken in a good way, though. We're broken because we realize that we could be another key in the puzzle, but we want to create our own puzzle.
Yes.
Right? And
our own world.
Our own world. I can't lose if I create the game.
I won't lose if I create the game.
I hadn't lost at anything in life.
That part.
Now, I've decided it was no longer worth the effort it would take to get it. But that was on me.
Right.
There was nothing that I've ever wanted that I couldn't have.
I like that perspective. But you know, Chris, you're so insightful, right? You always drop gems, and I love your perspective on things, which is why we are here on this couch. Right?
I love it.
And so, dating while being an entrepreneur. Now, you're not necessarily dating. You're married.
But it's still dating. If you're married and you aren't dating, your relationship is in trouble.
Okay. And dating how so? For those of us who are not there yet.
Well, I would say just that intentionality. So when you're dating, you are intentional about letting that other person know that you love them, affection, just that mindfulness, right? And I think it's easy to get lulled into complacency. Right? Which, again, similar to entrepreneurship, right? Your relationship can just be chugging along, and all at once you realize, man, I'm just on this thing riding. Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing? What's the goal? Where are we headed?
Yeah. And, we're in this thing together, and it's not even a beef situation. This isn't even an argument. It's just that realization when the light bulb goes off and you're like, man, we hadn't hugged each other in a while. Now, I'm not talking about, that I'm talking about a hug. So the good thing is once you become aware, how do you move forward? So for me, I've been married to my wife for 15 years.
Okay.
Long time, but long ass time. She's had to deal with me when I didn't want to deal with myself. So, baby, I appreciate you for that.
Speak on it, baby.
We have 4 kids.
Okay.
So,
what's the age range? Because it's a wide range.
Yeah. So we have a 16-year-old son. We have a 13-year-old son, and we thought we should try for a little girl. God hit us with a 2-for-1 coupon. So I have twin daughters that are 7 years old. So. Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to parent. And
yes, it does.
You got to find that balance between parenting and being in a relationship with your spouse or your partner. So that's what I mean when I say dating.
But then parenting, being in a relationship with your spouse and still trying to get to the bag on your own, cognizance.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand is that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother child. So to speak, right?
Yeah, 100%. I came to that realization not too long ago that I have to treat any organization that I'm a part of as a being. I have to make sure that it has what it needs to be able to get where I want to go. I'm very proud of my children. I have a great relationship with my kids. All of them are sometimes more vocal than I want them to be, but I respect the fact that they have a voice. My organizations don't have a voice, but they have metrics.
Yes, and which is the voice.
So it takes a almost superhuman level of juggling to try to keep all those things afloat. Because
each one of them need attention,
and
each one of them needs different type. Your wife needs something different than your business, and your children need something. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I don't think people. If it would be so much easier for me to clock in somewhere and get a paycheck every 2 weeks that I know this is what that paycheck gonna look like every 2 weeks.
100%. So prior to becoming an entrepreneur, I was a regional manager for an insurance brokerage firm.
Okay.
And it was great. Pay was great. Got to travel, got to do a lot of things that I never thought I could do. But at the end of the day, I still felt like I was chasing something.
Yeah.
And I realized what I was chasing wasn't anything extrinsic. It was something inside of me that I was chasing.
Okay.
And the best way to be able to get that is to create a world where I can stay where I want to be. You know, I'm at home every night now.
Yeah.
I get to put my daughters to bed.
Yay.
My son's sporting events. So I'm really where I want to be. I'm in the process of molding that world. The key is keeping everybody together as we transition from that old world, because you can't grasp what's new if you're still holding on to what's old.
And the reason I wanted you on the show was because we had a conversation and we were talking about how you had to come to the realization that not everybody was meant to be an entrepreneur. And by everybody, you meant the person that you were also with.
100%.
She was also included in that everybody. And you had to realize that what was meant for you was not necessarily meant for her career-wise.
Correct. And not projecting my idea of success onto her. Right? And vice versa. Right. Conversely, I want her to see that, you know, the guaranteed 6-figure paydays, they're coming soon again, right? Yeah. But our happiness was never in that. Right? I remember we struggled. We had our first son and living in a apartment, and just, you look back on it, it was a struggle, but we were damn happy. Right? So, I think that's the other part. And the hard thing is trying to articulate that without it coming off as an attack. Right? It's not an attack. It's just, it's lonely being an entrepreneur.
It's very lonely. So you feel lonely? Because I feel lonely, but I thought it was because I was alone.
Nope. Nope, because nobody can be in that place. Again, you've built the world. Nobody else exists in it. You know, one thing that looking back was not wise was when I made the transition from being gainfully employed to becoming an entrepreneur, was consulting my wife and giving her a play-by-play on what was going to happen.
You did not do that.
I honestly didn't know how it was going to play out. I knew that I was going to make a move. I knew that I was going to be successful. I've always been successful. I've always found a way. But this time I knew that things were going to be different. I knew the avenue that I was going to choose, but I moved into an industry that has heavy regulations and licensing. So I had no idea about the time frames. So we went, probably 8 to 9 months unexpected with no income. Yeah.
And like you said, it was unexpected. So you couldn't even.
Well, it wasn't unexpected till I quit my job. So I mean, you can't expect to have a payday. But I you know, it's done now. But the reality is, I knew what I was chasing had to be envisioned, and it took a lot of prayer, took a lot of meditation, a lot of mindfulness to be able to build it. And now I'm at the point where I'm starting to see these things come to fruition, where I have folks on my team that see the vision. They see what we're trying to do. They're enthusiastic. They're in a situation where the leader of the organization wants them to be leaders. So I don't want people around me that just want to clock in. I want people that want to actually do something with their time. So it's coming around, but you still had this conflict with my wife, who's a school teacher, and she's steady. She teaches little bitty. She's giving them the basic fundamentals of life. You don't make any rash decisions, children. And then she looks at her husband and she's like, this dude is making rash decisions. So I get it, but I think the key is realizing that there's never going to be a perfect relationship, but there can always be perfect commitment.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
There will never be a perfect relationship, but there will always be perfect commitment.
And you can be committed to whatever that is, but the key with commitment is realizing your commitment doesn't matter until you acknowledge that you have a choice. Right? It's a choice for us to still continue to do. It's a choice for us to run these kids to soccer practice.
Yeah.
It's a choice to show up after school. All of these things are a choice, and once we realize that, we see the beauty of what we're manifesting, right? What we're pouring into. So, the same thing that we do with our children, I'm doing with my organization.
So would you say that you jumped?
Oh, absolutely.
Me
Forget
too.
jump. It was.
With no parachute.
Didn't need a parachute.
Just
I didn't need a parachute,
same.
right?
Yeah.
And mine is a trauma response. I fully understand that. My mother was terminally ill through my childhood. She was a teen parent. Her and my father were never married, so I didn't have a hero. The cool thing is I get to build my hero real time now.
Yeah,
everything I do is driven by that intrinsic fire, right?
Okay.
Just that, that calling. So my wife, her situation was different. She grew up in a 2-parent household. Her father is amazing. I have the best in-laws in the world. I mean, when I say the best, they sold their beautiful lake house to move 5 minutes from us.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. Well, insane. They jumped too. Because now they like, oh, this dude done quit his job. I love y'all. If y'all listening, I love y'all. I'm just saying.
So you jump. Okay. Do you regret it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I thought that would be your answer.
No, absolutely not. Because I realized that the fruit that my tree was bearing, those aren't the fruits that I wanted to be bearing.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
the problem isn't them. The problem in organization. The problem isn't the environment. The problem is me.
Yeah.
Because I choose where I spend my energy.
Yeah.
And it's cool because in order to start a new thing, you got to let that old thing die.
Yeah.
Right? So it's beautiful, man. It's
a beautiful experience.
It is.
It's scary.
It is. It is.
I'll be remiss if I didn't say that it's scary as hell.
Yeah. But
I do it again.
absolutely. Well,
I'll do it again.
And the beauty of it is every day that we wake up, we have another chance. Right? I don't regret anything that I've done in the past. So there's some things that I would do different with the information I have now. Absolutely. But I can't. And it would be foolish for me to even try to spend energy trying to fix those things. But what I can do is be intentional about what I do, what I share, and being vulnerable and transparent.
Absolutely. And no, I appreciate that because it you helping people right now, right?
I hope
With
so.
this-
I hope so. And y'all help me. Y'all help me by hitting that like and subscribe button so I can come back and be a guest again.
Look at him. He know how to
Got
do
that
it.
plug in
He know
there.
how to do it. Okay, thank you. So let me ask. Is she involved in the business?
She's not.
Would you like her to be involved in the business?
At this point, no, because what I realize is she has a full plate on her own. Okay. She has a full plate as a school teacher. So my wife has 2 master's degrees. She is more than capable to be doing something else, but she is in her purpose with these kids.
Okay.
And with that, that means at 3:00 when the bell rings, my wife isn't going to be coming home. My wife, so she's putting in overtime there. What I don't want to do is put additional work on her and then make her feel like she's chasing. Now she does help, like she makes some of our merch. She'll answer emails, she'll answer the phones, but I want to be intentional about letting her know that you didn't choose this, I did, and I will make it self-sufficient. Because my goal is to make it where I don't have to be touching whatever that is all the time. So yeah, and then we be arguing too. We like rims. So yeah, it's probably best that we don't.
That y'all have your own separate work.
Yeah. Cause she would beat me.
Okay.
She
Now
would
she
beat.
would beat
Oh,
you.
she would. She would have a chancla and she would just be hitting me in the back of the neck. And I don't like getting hit in the back of the neck with sandals. So yeah, it's best, baby. I love you, but nah.
She don't do that. I'm not finna sit here and let you.
Yes, my wife is not abusive. I feel safe at home.
Gets on my nerves. Y'all hear me? Okay, so so I've dated. I have as an entrepreneur, right? And I remember I was telling you that at one point I thought I wanted to date an entrepreneur because we were talking about to date or not to date an entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. And you were saying, you don't think it would be so bad to date an entrepreneur. Mm-mm. And I was saying that I've dated entrepreneurs. And what I've realized in my dating and non-dating relationships with other entrepreneurs is that we are not all built the same.
Man, come
Even
on.
though we're entrepreneurs, everybody thinks like, oh, we have like a fellowship because we're entrepreneurs, right?
The hustle is not the same.
Different, man. And it is absolutely so separately, clearly, right? The hustle is so separately because the way one entrepreneur hustles and the way I hustle is not the same. And it's very hard to find somebody who hustles at the same level.
Well, you won't. It's impossible. It's impossible because the whole key about being an entrepreneur is you control where your energy goes. Mm-hmm. So I am very, very guarded of my time. Like my time that's the only thing that I really try to like, and I like to have a good time. Mm-hmm. So that means that I need to have a good idea of what's coming down the pipeline. Other entrepreneurs, they like to be busy all the time, right? So because you're dealing with people who are creative, people who have manifested a world that didn't exist, if you do find somebody that has the same hustle that you do, it's probably a red flag. Because how dare out of all these people, you find somebody that has similar values than you.
Red flag. I think that's a good thing.
Have you found it?
No.
There you go.
So what I found is, let me tell you what I have found.
Okay.
What I found is entrepreneur. Like I've dated. So in dating, I've dated entrepreneurs who, they're entrepreneurs, but they do just enough to pay the bills.
That's it.
They don't aspire for anything outside greater, right? They don't aspire to have more, to own more. And that's fine, except we're not equally yoked now.
That's it.
Right? Because I'm trying to tell you, because that's just who I am, right? So I do business coaching.
Okay.
So I help businesses get to that level.
Sir, the reason your business is not thriving, sir,
is because But I'm dating you, right?
That won't work.
Does that?
That's
does
like
he want to hear it from me?
No. I wouldn't either.
Why not?
Well, because he's comfortable.
Clearly.
He's comfortable, and.
But then you're uncomfortable with where I'm at. So I'm higher than you.
That part.
And you're uncomfortable, but I'm trying to help you get there. But you don't want to. But then you look at me like,
can't do it.
Why do you, I don't make as much as you, and why would you want to date me? And
yeah, so it is self-sabotage.
Yes, it is.
They don't see that they have the value, because if you wouldn't be wasting your time with them. Right. If you weren't interested,
right,
wouldn't be wasting my time. And the beautiful thing is, we understand that people change, they grow. Mm-hmm. People should change. The key is finding someone who is open
to the change.
To change, right? And sees the opportunity instead of being threatened.
But I'm trying to give you, this is what I did to get here. You could do the same thing. Here's some thoughts, But I guess it just comes off again, I guess I'm their girl and they don't want to hear that from me.
Yeah, nah. I just want you to cook something. I'm just playing. That was
cook and twerk. Cook while I'm twerking.
That will 100% get his attention. Cooking while I twerk.
Okay. That could be. We could drop that album.
Hey, let's do it.
Next summer.
Let's do it. Mixtape coming soon.
Sure.
High Girl Summer 3. Boop, boop. Let's get it. All right. I think the other thing is finding somebody that's comfortable with going to counseling. right?
Yeah.
Because every problem you have, the problem isn't anything else. The problem is inside of you.
Yeah.
Nothing else really exists. So within that, you think about being a business coach. The people who hire you are people who, at least on some level, feel like they want to grow.
They've acknowledged that they're missing something and need something to
The
get to that
request
growth.
is there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you try to do it unsolicited, they're going to be like, man, get the hell away from me.
Right.
So I can see that, man. And I will just say dating is hard. Being married is hard. It's hard enough dealing with your own self.
That part.
It's hard enough dealing with your
Then
own
adding
self.
another individual into the mix.
Yeah.
And just so that I'm clear, because people love to misconstrue everything that comes out of my mouth. So just for the ones that's gonna come in my comments, I was never, and Chris, you probably understood this, but I wasn't pushing.
Yeah. It wasn't that.
It wasn't pushy. It wasn't aggressive. It was
Uh-huh.
just like, listen, you don't have to be intimidated because I make this and you make this, right?
Yeah.
Like I can help you make this too, if you want me to help you. And so we cannot have these intimidating conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
it doesn't bother you. It bothers them way more than it bothers you.
Yes.
Man, it's just, if you meet a successful entrepreneur, they have a glow.
Yeah.
They have a glow, right? Remember Bruce Leroy with the whole, that makes a lot more sense now when you understand that, man, you just got to be. So it takes someone who wants that refinement.
Yeah.
And that's difficult to find.
That is very difficult to find.
But it's okay because, the other side is a normie, right? Someone who...
I like that name, by the way. Did you make that up?
Yes.
You did not make that up.
I think I did. It's okay.
Not I think I did.
I think I did. I come up with a lot of stuff I don't know, but I'm going to give myself credit on that one. But, the beauty is they represent balance.
Yes.
Right?
And that's okay.
Yeah, it represents balance. Because just like I can't go to my wife's school and, manage her classroom anywhere near as well as she could, it would be impractical for her to try to jump in my shoes and understand the amount of decisions that you have to make as an entrepreneur. I think that
day in and day out.
That's the part that people don't get.
Day in and day out.
Before 8:00, you've already made so many decisions that don't just impact you, they impact your family, they impact your employees, they impact your customers. So there's a lot of...
Oh my God. Let me tell you. Okay, so there's so many things that just came out of what you just said. So first, before I forget, because I have ADHD.
Let's get it.
Okay, so so first thing is the fact that, and see, I just lost it. Wait. So
pushing it back.
Wait. So I guess the first thing was that I initially told you that I thought I wanted to date somebody that was an entrepreneur, and then I had changed my mind, and I wanted to date a normie.
Yep.
Because of that balance that you speak of. And now I don't have to try to, the intimidation factor hopefully will not be there, right? Because you're going to make your salary and you're going to make what you're going to make, and I'm over here, right? Because what I thought was going to come from dating an entrepreneur was going to be that solidarity.
Yeah.
Like you understand where I'm coming from. You understand that
it was going to be like a Disney movie and we build and we got...
we're the same person. And that's not it. But with a normie, I don't... You see how I'm using that? I'm going to use that for
it sounds derogatory. And we don't mean that in a derogatory way. In no means. There's just...
There's nothing wrong with
There's
9 to 5.
Yeah, you have to have that. 100% you have to have that. But for some people, we have... we're wired different.
We're built differently. Yeah. And with a normie, you get that stability. With a normie, like... you get health insurance, which I think is amazing.
Yes.
You get 401ks.
Man.
You get all the benefits of a normie job, right? Whereas entrepreneurs, not all of us have that option, right?
Yeah.
And so I decided, I changed my mind.
Which is good. Always reserve the right to change your mind.
You know what I'm saying? I said, no, I want to date a normie. And I like it.
I'm imagining I'm imagining your post on a dating site. I'm a successful entrepreneur looking for a normie. If you're not intimidated by me and all that I bring and my beautiful energy. Is that how you did it?
No, but I would never get dates if I did it like that. That wouldn't have, nobody would have called me. So, okay, so then shifting towards, I like the fact that you mentioned about making decisions. So day in and day out in our businesses. So here's where it comes in for me, right? As a woman, I am going to work, and you're right, I have people under me, and not just in one business, in several businesses, that I'm delegating, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I have people under me, and I got to make decisions, like you said, right? Day in and day out. When I get home, I want to be straight feminine. I don't want to make no decisions. I don't care where we go to eat. I do, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I do, but I don't, right?
Not that place. We can go to the other place. Not that place.
Just give me three different options. And then but like, I don't want to, like, I'm coming home soft as shit. Does that make sense? Because I cannot wear the boss hat all day, right? So as a woman, when I come home to my man, please make, for the household, please.
Well, and that's one of the other things that we discussed is gender norms, right? You know, right, wrong, or indifferent, our world has changed a lot since our parents' generation, grandparents. You know, it wasn't long ago that a woman couldn't buy a home on her own. Right. And now, you know, things have changed. So I would say one thing to look for within that balance is someone who understands it, because I love to cook. Like my wife, she don't have to cook most of the time. Well, let me rephrase it. That may be why she mad. Baby, I'm sorry. I just realized you've been having to do a lot of cooking here lately, so I'm going to pick that up. But
show her this part right here.
Yeah, this part. But don't be afraid to find something that you're not looking for. Most of the time when you find what you're looking for, it's because you weren't looking for it. Because if you have an idea of what it is, it's going to be, you're going to be limited. It's going to be tunnel vision. Right? Where, you know, obviously you want your strong man. I know you want your strong man, but if strong men know how to use a knife and can julienne some food, it's balanced. It works for you guys. Whatever that is. So I think that's the key, is finding a complementary piece.
Absolutely. And for me right now, the complementary piece is I don't want to wear all the hats when I come home to. I would like to relinquish all of that.
And be comfortable. Sir, be comfortable. That you don't have to, like, because growing up in poverty, I used to think that having money would solve a lot of my problems. And I realized having money just makes it easier for you to hide the problems that you never resolved.
Okay. So,
you know, and that goes for pretty much everything in life, right? So, you know, as an entrepreneur, we go through that same thing. Is you could hustle 24 hours a day. You could not go home. You could not take your daughter to school. Whatever that is, right? All those things. But you've chosen that. So how do I find someone who shares the same value set that I share? Someone who doesn't see the world right now the same way, but we have a shared vision of what our future could be.
What it could be. And he's in it.
That's
he's
it.
in it.
That's it.
Even though he can't see it. Right? He has faith enough to be in it and stay in it.
I'm committed to you. Right? And there's gonna be some difficult times. There's gonna be some fun times. But at the end of the day, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. So because you got a choice, man, you gotta enjoy it. You know, that would be so. You know, when I was checking out your podcast, and even with
you watched it before.
I had to, yes, okay. And I hit that like and subscribe button, like all of your viewers right now are gonna do if you hadn't done that already. I thought about the name Dear Future Husband, and what I wanted to do was record this for myself 20 years ago. Right? What would I tell myself? What would I share?
And I'm glad you're saying that, because I actually was going to ask you that. So, I mean, since we're here.
Yeah, let's
go
do
ahead.
It.
What would you share?
So what I would share is be okay with not being okay.
Okay.
Right? It is what it is. Understand that you are the sum of your decisions, not the bad ones. Right? We've all had some hiccups. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And then the last thing is have fun.
Absolutely.
If you're not having fun, you're not gonna get another shot. This is it. At some point, everybody else is gonna wake up and you won't.
Yeah.
So, what did you do with that time? So
Yeah.
it's finding that balance, which again goes back to the entrepreneurial journey, right? I'm
Yeah.
constantly in that mindset of I see the world, but I want to just kind of navigate it through it at my own pace.
At your own right. At your own level.
That's
So would it, for someone who is not married,
Mm-hmm.
but also for someone who is an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
I assume so. A lot of things I would have to assume because I haven't lived it, right?
Yeah.
I would assume that somebody who does not support, you may not see my vision, you may not understand my vision, you may not understand my walk, but I need you to support me. And I would assume that if I was with somebody who was not supportive, that wouldn't work out for too long.
Key. The last two words that you said are key. Too long. You can do anything for a short period of time. Right?
Okay.
You can do anything. You can stand on your head for a couple of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But how long is that sustainable?
Mm-hmm.
And for entrepreneurs, I mean, I don't know the stats off top, but I bet there's a strong correlation between entrepreneurship and bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you're taking a risk.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing something that other people haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
So
or weren't successful at doing.
that. So you have to understand from the other side, right? From the person who's the normie, they're doing their thing. They got their check coming in. They're doing their
Consistent.
part. It's consistent.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to show them that this thing is going to be worthwhile. Again, because they can manage for a little bit, but over an extended period of time, it's like, nah, man, you delusional. This isn't going to work. So there is 100% balance. And that's where I go back to the counseling piece, right? Most relationships don't have the means to be able to communicate without it turning into an argument.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to share, especially with the person that you have committed your life to. And a lot of those conversations are going to be uncomfortable. But if you can have them proactively.
Yeah. So is it crazy because I've always thought why people don't. So some people will go to premarital counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but I think everybody should go to premarital counseling.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my personal opinion. I've never been through it, by the way. Did you go? Did you guys do it?
We did not.
Okay.
We did not.
So I feel like those, from what I've heard, those are good conversations to be had prior to saying I do.
100%.
So at least y'all know what you're walking into, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, is it crazy to think that maybe you just continue counseling, like just as a man, just to keep count, or at some point does it need to end, or how does that, like, you're married? Yeah. What do you think, like continued counseling?
Yeah. So even we can take marriage, we can take children, we can take whatever that is. Yes, it is a good idea.
Even individual.
Even in 100% individual.
Mm-hmm.
If your leg was hurting, I wouldn't tell you to walk it off and you've been limping for 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. But the most powerful organ we have in our body is the one that we neglect the most. So yes, you need to have an arena to have someone, because good therapy is just like a mirror. Yeah. Right? Yes. That's all you're doing is you're looking at yourself and you're seeing the things that you, for whatever reason have had a blind spot to. So absolutely, I think that you should be doing that. And, as a part of dating, I think that would be a good thing. Even before you even get to the marriage point, is start having that conversation. Are you actively going to therapy? Would you consider going to therapy? I'm going to therapy. Like, whatever that is, because that was one of the blessings of the pandemic. Like, obviously, there was a bunch of really horrible things that happened during the pandemic, like innumerable. Mm-hmm. But one of the good things was we saw what happens when normal gets knocked away, and people have to sit inside here and here. So as we've transitioned back to a new normal, we still have to understand that taking care of your heart and your mind is just as important, because it's going to be hard for you to be in a relationship and you aren't committed to healing yourself.
Absolutely.
So marriage counseling, individual counseling, kids counseling,
everything.
Everybody go to counseling.
Family counseling, everything.
Yes. Why wouldn't you?
Okay. I like that, and I like highlighting the fact that therapy is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and
especially in our community.
we are turning the corner, right? It used to be, man, you better go pray that away. You can't pray away depression. You can pray and get some calm within that moment, but we're talking about chemical imbalance, right?
Okay.
And that's okay, right? Your foot hurt, you go to the doctor. Make it a practice. And the crazy part, so I'm gonna give a big shout out to my mentor, Dr. Jerry Roberson. When I was getting ready to start the process of becoming an entrepreneur, I reached out to him and I was telling him, here's my struggle. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know it's time for me to do something different. And he issued me a challenge. He said, I want you for 7 days straight, for 7 minutes each, you have to hit 4 disciplines. Intentional prayer, intentional worship, intentional meditation, and intentional study. That's 28 minutes. The key is you have to do it 7 days, 4 for 4 for 7. Man, do you know it took me like 6 months?
To get straight 7.
I go 2, drop off. Go 5, drop off. Because the reality is I would make time for everything else, but I wouldn't make time to check in with myself. And when I made it a habit to
We're all guilty of that.
Oh, man, listen.
I'm guilty of that.
Listen, when I finished that 7th day, I turned in my resignation to my previous job.
Okay.
It's that level of, it's in there already. You just got to turn off all the external noise to be able to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
And again, it's difficult to do that individually. When you're having that realization and your spouse isn't having that same realization because they're not living the same journey. It's difficult because it's like, you changed. Yeah, I changed. I had to change. But I want to be the best version of myself that I could be for all of us.
It benefits everybody.
It does. It benefits the world, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has a unique set of gifts, and until you can get to the point where you're able to share those gifts.
Right. I think mine is on the stripper pole, as I shared earlier.
Man, listen.
But
you know what?
I really enjoyed the class, and I think that's my hidden talent. I don't think I can share it with the world though, but I think
you shouldn't share it with the world. But it is. I want. All I can say is this. I understand that the level of aerobic workout that you would get is amazing.
Yeah.
I also understand that there's a level of confidence that you gain.
Yes.
Like break whatever that is. Yeah.
Like I can't go to the paint. You know what I'm saying? I can't and try out. But what I'm saying is, just for me, myself, and
why wouldn't you? This is your temple.
I like it.
This is the temple that God has given you. Yeah. Now the last time I tried, they were throwing nickels, and I heard them making it rain. But when it started hailing, that kind of hurt a little bit. Yeah. So, and I'm kind of bony too. Yeah, that didn't feel good.
Okay.
That didn't feel good.
Okay. So. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a hell of a tangent. That's all I'm saying is we were deep. We were talking about philosophy, and now we swinging around on the pole. But you know what? It's balance. That's what I love about you, right? So I'm gonna tell your listeners and your viewers, I know they get a limited view of you, but from the time we've met, I've appreciated your authenticity.
Oh, thank you.
Right, because a lot of times we get in environments and we can only show a portion of who we are. But the cool thing about you is we could go to South Dallas and hang out. And then we could go to a boardroom for a Fortune 500 company and fit in perfectly. And the reason is because you're comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And yeah, keep doing what you're doing because this is needed. These conversations have to be had.
Yeah.
And for me as a black male to be saying, yeah, it's okay to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, counseling is okay.
Yes, that's big. That's big.
Apologize to your kids.
That's huge.
Apologize to your kids, man, because if you don't, how can you expect them to take ownership of their behavior when you won't take ownership of your own?
Don't drop it on them.
Man, come on now.
Somebody pass the collection.
Message. So I thought about when I was becoming an entrepreneur, I thought about starting an agnostic church, but I realized that's called a cult. And I don't think those I don't think they have very good Google reviews. So all I'm saying is tap in with your God, inside, outside, whatever. But find people that are comfortable with being authentic and sharing like Miss Bree.
Done with you. We went from the stripper pole to therapy.
It's all the same. It's all the same. There is no difference. It's the same person. But are you not Bree there?
I'm Bree.
There you go. Come on.
Okay.
Hot
Chris.
miss. Hot miss. Hot miss.
Always.
Is
Always.
this gonna make it? Or are we gonna?
Not is this gonna make it.
Is this gonna make it? Y'all, listen. This was my only shot. Granny, I told you. Granny.
Not is this gonna make it? Past the editing table, I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. My watch. Yeah.
She entered the conversation. So, okay, Chris, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it. This has been an amazing show. Please let the people know what you got going on, how they can support you.
Absolutely. So, my main thing is home inspections. I know that sounds crazy. I went from insurance brokers to home inspections, but I realized people are in a very vulnerable situation when they're buying a home. Right, that's very stressful, and being able to get solid, non-biased information is key. So I actually am a proud franchise business owner with Pillar to Post Home Inspectors, the largest home inspection company in North America. And I am actively building my team of amazing inspectors. Everyone has unique life experience, but above all, they have the ability to communicate. So if you know anyone that's looking to buy a home in the DFW area, if you're looking to sell your home and you would like to have your home pre-qualified, I should say, where we go through, do a very thorough inspection, and we're able to give you pricing on repairs. Our key is, the thing for us is confident home ownership. So that's where I'm at right now. That is most of my energy and my time. I do have a few other things, but that is the key right now. That is the one that is going to really take us to the next level.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of opportunity here in North Texas. So yeah, Pillar to Post Home Inspectors, the Hunter team. Give us a shout.
And he's very thorough, y'all. I mean, thorough. Will take his time. Him and his team take their time to go through every inch of your house to tell you exactly what it is that you need to know. You know, so definitely give him a shout. How do they contact you?
So you can contact us at our website, which is hunterteam.pillartopost.com. Or you can reach us at 817-773-2154. Either way, we'll be glad to assist. You can follow us on social media also. But yeah, I would be, I'm going to say it. I don't think anybody else could do a better job than my team can. I'm just going to put that out there.
So you have to call him. I mean, you have no other choice at this point. I mean, if you want a thorough home inspection.
That's it.
And you have to call him. So y'all make sure to call, hit them up. Social media is what?
Social media. So the Hunter team. So everything is a Pillar to Post, the Hunter team.
Okay.
Been serving in DFW for over 20 years, and we are going to continue for a long time in the future.
All right. You heard it here first. So y'all make sure to support him. And again, y'all, if y'all haven't heard it throughout the show, subscribe to Reality TV 1. Okay. And thank you so much, Chris, for coming on the show and for, just dropping the gems as you always do. You drop gems during lunch, on the show. I mean, wherever you go, you just drop gems. And I definitely appreciate you, and I appreciate you for sharing and being vulnerable. So thank you so much for being on here.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure. I got a new nickname, Chris the Jeweler. Dropping gems.
I'm so sick of you. Okay, y'all, bye.